Hi, my name's Shane, and today I'm just going to show you a little tutorial on kind of the basics of setting up a Unity project. So when you open up Unity, it'll give you this Unity hub, which kind of just shows you a list of projects you're working on or is saved on your computer. So when you want to start a new one, you go over here, this blue button where it says new, click on that, and then it gives you a list of options you can choose. So pretty much you're going to be working in 3D. You can do 2D or some of these other options, but 3D is pretty much just the general one you choose, and it gives you a lot of options to work within it. So yeah, you set up the name and the save location, and then it should generate you a new project. So that normally takes a couple of minutes, but I've just set one up here just prior to filming this. Yeah, so once you're in Unity itself, there's three kind of main tabs. So you have the scene, you have game, and then you have asset store. So kind of the two main steps in making a Unity project is you generate the scene, which is kind of just like putting different objects together to create, like say, like an apartment building or construction site. And then the second step is like making it interactive. So it'll be over in this game thing where you can like put a player in and like make it move and make it like click buttons and everything. Yeah, this tutorial will just show you how to set up a basic scene, which is probably the more straightforward of the two options. So yeah, once you load in, you can move around by using the arrow keys. You also have this XYZ coordinate, which you can move around. You can click and drag using the mouse, or you can right click and change like the angle you're looking at. So yeah, in order to add objects to the scene, you click up here to the plus, and then, so say you want a 3D object like a cube, you click on cube, and now that's in the scene itself. So to select it, you can either just click on it or click up here on the cube. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of options, like you can change the scale of it over here, you can rotate it. So you can either do that on the side here. So for instance, you can make it bigger in the X direction, you can make it smaller in the Y, you can make it bigger in the Z. And see now it's not really a cube, it's more like the floor of the scene. Or you can also select up here, you can move it around with X, Y, Z, or you can rotate it. Or you can like change the scale using this. So they're kind of the three options just up there. So yeah, basically Unity has a bunch of like preset options, although they're not very detailed, they're just basic shapes. So if you want to add like actual kind of nice elements, like for instance a chair or something, you're going to want to use the asset store. So the asset store is pretty much just objects made from like users of Unity, and they're either free or paid. So for instance, if we go back to the scene and we go asset store, we'll just let that load up. For instance, if you want an Arabian house, click on asset store and then right click show in asset store window. And once you're here, you pretty much just have to download it. Click on that, it'll download up and import it to your scene. And then these are just all the different things in the package, because sometimes there's multiple assets in there. So now you've added it, you can go back to, or down here, where in your assets thing, and click on this. And then, so there's that Arabian house. So you click it, just drag it into the scene. It's quite small actually. But yeah, so you can do the same thing. You can resize it, make it bigger. Actually, let's make it 10, 10, and 10. So there's your house there. And then based on where this light is, you can kind of control the lighting of it. So now it's all shadowy. And yeah, over here, so now that's set up. So yeah, another thing you can do is changing the color of objects. So you have the models, then you have materials. So right now we don't have many things. So again, might want to go to our asset store. Maybe we can get a nice green color. So we can show an asset store window. Oh, that one's actually paid. Maybe we'll just get, I don't know, this ground one. So right click, show an asset store window, download it. And import it. Import all that. Just wait for that to load. Yeah, I think there's a lot in this pack. Yep, so that would have imported now. So now if we go to all materials, we've got this ground one. And what you can do, you can pretty much just drag and drop. And so that changes the color of our ground to a nice green. Yep, so that's pretty much the basics of setting it up. So you go to model, you can search for what you want. So say I wanted a chair. Let that search. Actually, no, you want to go to the asset store. And so here are a bunch of chairs. You just right click, show an asset store window. Same as the other ones we just installed. Download, import it, and then you drag and drop into the scene. For instance, we can add more cubes if we like. We can add spheres. And then pretty much you just piece it together like that. It's almost kind of like playing The Sims. You just piece together the individual parts and then gradually you build a scene up. So I can show you what one looks like that's actually a bit more complete. So we go back to, I'll close this one. And so here's one we're actually working on for our capstone project. It might take a while to load because there's a lot of elements in it at the moment. So this one's also a collaborative one. So you have to sync with the server each time you log on, it's kind of nice because we've got 4 people in our group. We can all work on the same scene and then just upload it once we change it, kind of like a Google Doc. But yeah, we'll just wait for this to load up. So yeah, once you get the hang of just adding assets and everything, it's fairly kind of straightforward process. Yep, so here's our scene. As you can see, it's got a lot more things going on than the other one. Yeah, pretty much these are all just individual objects we've added to the scene and just placed together. So for instance, I can move this car around if I like. I can do whatever. Another kind of handy thing to know in Unity, so it has different scenes. So you can actually set up different scenes in the same project, and they're almost kind of like game levels. So we've got a few scenes in this one. So here's one I was working on myself. Don't save that. Where is it? It's down here. So yeah, this is a completely different environment. And yeah, so you can move things around, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics of everything. Going over it again, if you want to add objects, click on models, or you can either go 3D object, add like a cube and just resize it. For instance, if you want to make the floor or like this fence that I made, or you pretty much just want to be using that asset store. So you go over to asset store, search for what you want, chair, import it to the scene, drag and drop in, and then just resize it using the Unity tools. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty much the tutorial. I think we'll have a bunch more of these. Yeah, thanks for watching.